Okay, what's up YouTube? Joseph here, and I'm giving you guys my Harpie discussion video number 2. Number 2 is because we're gonna just focus on every monster that has Harpie Lady in her name and it supports the monster Harpie Lady. Now, I do want to just go over 2 monsters that we have to really talk about real quickly, and that's Harpie Girl and Harpie's brother. Pretty much the only, formerly known as Harpie Brother, his name is Sky Scout now, but originally Sky Scout was named Harpie Brother, and that was due to a word, a name translation error. Originally in the OCG, he's called Birdman. When Birdman came to the TCG side in the beginning, he was called Harpie's brother because they said, well, he looks just like a harpy, but he's a man. So they dubbed him Harpie's brother. And for the longest time, in order to correct that little translation, cards that specifically said Harpie or Harpie Lady excluded Harpie's brother because he was not considered a Harpie Lady or a Harpie monster due to what was found out was a translation error. Harpie Girl only works for the sense that she has Harpie in her name. Everything else she doesn't really work with. So she can't use Elegant Aegis. She can't pop cells and traps with 100 grams effect when you normal summon or special summon her. And at points, she's just a discard fodder if you decide to play Harpie Challenge. So yeah, that's pretty much these 2 in a nutshell. I just really wanted to get those 2 out of the way because I know there are going to be questions about them. So let's just get started. Let's get started, shall we? Alright, so as we all know, Harpie Lady is a normal monster, 1300 attack, 1400 defense. She comes in various forms. Her first set of forms are Harpie 1, Harpie 2, Harpie 3, and Cyber Harpie Lady. Now, as we all know in the game, you can only have 3 of a card in your deck unless it is limited, banned, or semi-limited. And for Harpie Lady, none of the monsters are limited, banned, or semi-limited. But they all go under the wording of you can only have 3 of this card in your deck unless said otherwise. And because Harpie 1, 2, and 3 and Cyber Harpie are always treated as Harpie Lady, no matter what they are, you can only run a set of that card. So in actuality, you cannot go triple Harpie Lady 1 and Cyber Harpie because they are all treated as Harpie Lady. That is not an effect, that is a condition. So that did become a problem in the early game because what deck wouldn't love to run multiples of monster that says she's Harpie Lady, and especially for us Harpie players. And not to mention we had all these support cards to help Harpie Lady. First, let's talk about Birdface. Birdface, search your deck for a Harpie Lady and added it to your hand when he was destroyed by battle. It's sent to the graveyard. So, pretty much, those are his options of select target. Next is Elegant Egotist, which special summons a Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady's sisters from your deck to your hand. And for Harpie sisters, they're pretty much really difficult to summon because their original translation said you can only summon these cards through the effects of Elegant Egotist when there are monsters who also under that condition. For one good example, Chaos Sorcerer, who had the same wording, cannot be normal summoned, instead must first be special summoned or can only be special summoned by these effects. Now, unless you were like Dark Road Dragon, where you couldn't use the Silver in a mix because that was not only on your attacks, but that was part of your condition, you could call it a haunted monster reborn these monsters. So when later problem-solving text came in, Harpie sisters had their rewording, and now they say this card cannot be normal summoned or set, must first be special summoned with Elegant Egotist. Unfortunately, that does not help Harpie sisters with Harpie Chandler because of that effect on them. That is not an effect that is a condition. So yeah, that was pretty much why a lot of people ended up dropping Harpie Sisters because of that. If Harpie Sisters, I don't know, was worded like this is Harpie why she don't feel in the graveyard, and had pretty much the combined abilities of Harpie 1, 2, and 3, she might be even more playable than she is now, and like she was before. So we want to get those out the way. And then, of course, let's talk about each of the Harpie ladies that are on the field themselves. Harpie 1 gives 300 additional attack to all wind monsters on the board. Harpie 2 negates the effects of wind monsters that she destroys by battle. Harpie 3, if a monster that battles her or she battles cannot attack for to the end of your opponent's second battle phase. So, if your opponent, pretty much for 2 turns, your opponent cannot attack. If they attack Harpie Lady 3 or she attacked them, and for some weird reason either they both survive, that they cannot attack, especially defensive monsters, because I know some people set defensive monsters, and if you swing at them with Harpie 3, they can't attack. Pretty much most of these are just out of date unless you play Duel Links, where these 3 really do shine because of the fact that they're Harpie Lady and they have their effects, and because of how limited and a lot of things doing stuff like these 3 are really good cards for Harpie. Unless you play a full set of Harpie Lady that you spawned from Mai herself, you can easily just play the traditional Mai deck that does really well and has been topping really well as well. And then Cyber Harpie, this is a beta version of all the Harpie ladies, 1800 attack. She's pretty much Cyber Harpie Lady. Some other things you should know is that there are spells and traps that follow Harpie Lady wherever she goes. Let's start off with the most obvious, that's Cyber Shield. Cyber Shield is just a really bad card for a lot of people because it doesn't really do anything except for give additional 500 attack defense to Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters that it's equipped to. In case in point, all these monsters on the board right now, with the inclusion of Harpie Sisters. If it could be searched with Hysteric Sign, that'd be great. But like I said, this card is just mediocre. It's one of those cards that they were in the beginning of the game, and they're just here to be here. Next is Elegant Egotist, and actually I put Elegant Egotist over there, but next would be Elegant Egotist. And that's primarily because this card allows you to do all your special summon plays, really get to abuse the next card that I'm going to talk about, in a combination with the only trap card the second trap card that they have that pretty much sets this deck apart from many other decks, and kind of just paved the way for the other decks to have a card like this. So, before I get to them, I'll get out Harpie Phoenix formation. And this card, as we all know, was really broken in anime because Mai, being a Harpie Lady user, she had a ton of ways to make this card alive. Pretty much you control 2 or more Harpie Ladies or Harpie Lady Sisters, destroyed all your opponent's monsters, and then they take damage equal to, well, for the anime, they took damage equal to the combined total of attack of all the monsters you destroyed, up to the number of Harpie monsters you controlled. In the card's translation, you destroyed all the monsters equal to the number of Harpie Ladies you control or Harpie Lady Sisters. Then the highest attack, original attack of the monsters that were destroyed by this card's effect, your opponent takes burn damage from it. You cancel some from the extra deck or conduct battle phase. Initially in the main deck or extra deck and can conduct battle phase. So you could use multiples of these if your opponent starts to spam special summon effects. And on top of that, you can still have access to your hand graveyard, so the next 2 cards in combination can really help you out. And those cards are Harpie Phoenix form, Harpie Sunny Ground, and Hysteric Party. Hysteric Party pretty much says any monster in your graveyard that has Harpie Lady in its name, just summon it to the field. When this card leaves the field, destroy all the monsters that are attached to it. And Harpie Sunny Ground says whenever Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters is normal or special summon, the conductor of the summon selects 1 spell or trap card on the board, destroys it. Now, at points, you will have destroy Hunting Ground if Hunting Ground is the only card on your field. But it paid the big amount to have pretty much turn Harpies into a back row destruction oriented deck. Sometimes you don't have to orient it that way, but that's pretty much what Hunting Ground does, and that's pretty much what helped put Harpies back on the board around the time Enemy Justice came out, which was here's a Harpie field spell that says Harpies destroy back row when they're on a social summon. And with Hysteric Party, any monster that has Harpie Lady in its name could easily be summoned to the board and then start helping you take out your opponent. Now, the issue during the start of the game was because of the fact that there weren't ruling updates and stuff like that, so you had to go off of, I guess, some type of logic that these were all considered, because they're all Harpie Lady, they come onto the field, before it was not considered a simultaneous summon, of multiple Harpie Ladies. So when Astro Pack came, Astro Pack 2 had these reprinted, it corrected the rulings on both of these cards, where because this is considered a simultaneous summon of a monster that is named Harpie Lady, Harpie's Hunting Ground states that whoever conducted the summon destroys one stellar trap card, not multiples. But the multiples will come from either Elegant Egotist effect or the effects of other monsters who we'll be talking about very shortly. So with that all said and done, let's go into the factor now where, we had the problem that we only had a monster who is Harpie Lady. And, there wasn't much room to use any other cards that weren't Harpie Lady. Till we got Harpie Queen. And Harpie Queen says while she's on the field in the graveyard, of course, she is Harpie Lady. That revolutionized Harpie plays because it made Hysteric Party even more alive. It gave fuel to a ton of Harpie support monsters who are pretty much gain attacks or bonuses with Harpie Lady on the field, which pretty much were all her dragons. And I'll get to them in a minute. I'll get to them shortly as well. But that's pretty much, once she came out, she made a lot of the Harpie combination cards really, really useful. Especially Elegant Egotist, because you can summon your Harpie Ladies from your deck. And in combination, in Hunting Ground, if you discarded Harpie Queen, you can search for Hunting Ground, because that's her secondary effect. She can search for Hunting Ground by sending her from the hand to the graveyard. So that not only helped get you to field spell, but it filled Hysteric Party. And it just allowed you to play so many different combinations of plays with Harpies. Then, what was really good and interesting is that you can play Harpie. You could play Sisters and not have to worry about wasting up your Harpie Lady because you had a Harpie Lady on board. So Elegant Egotist could have additional target. And plus, Harpie Queen was a 19 beater, so it gave Cyber Harpie some leeway. Unfortunately, you could not search for it with Birdface because she's not Harpie Lady while she's in the deck. She's Harpie Lady while she's on the field or in the graveyard. So then, when that little bit came out, now between the Lord of Storm Structure deck and Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy, there wasn't really much Harpie card support. Actually, just a whole bunch of reprints. And one of those were, of course, Cyber Shield when it came back in Storm of Ragnarok. But let's flash straight to the release of Lord of Tachyon Galaxy, where we were introduced to Harpie Chandler, one of the best Harpie monsters in the main deck. She can discard a Harpie card from your hand to the graveyard to summon a Harpie monster from your deck, which give you optimal plays with Harpie's Pet Dragon, a monster who did not see much play when she came out, because it was really hard to find. You had to buy the video game or get Retro Pack to get a Harpie's Pet. Luckily enough, Joey's World reprinted Harpie's Pet Dragon, so it wasn't an issue of getting a dragon. But the fact that you could search for harpies, you can search for something harpies pet dragon made it even more liable. When the seeds were out, you can exceed with Harpie Chandler because when you control the dragon type monster, her level changed from 4 to 7. So Dragon and Chandler could exceed 7 and play an exceed monster from your action deck. On top of that, she brought out a powerful wall because you could just sit on a Harpie's pet dragon, and because Harpie Chandler, like Harpie Queen, is treated as a Harpie lady, she can give that additional attack power. Because of these cards, because of her being released, it did change Sky Scout to have that name now because he's not considered Harpie Brother anymore. In addition, the only other filler card was Harpie Girl, but like I said, she doesn't really do much for the archetype anymore. She's just there, which is pretty sad because I wish she had more to her, or at least on the bottom, she was treated as Harpie Lady while she's on the field in the graveyard, similar to how, or treated as a Harpie, yeah, like that. She's treated as Harpie Lady while on the field in the graveyard to be similar to, well, it wouldn't be similar to Summon Skull, but it would have been nice for her to have some more plays as a Harpie Lady. But we do understand, maybe it just was meant to be like that. So, with the Harpie combination plays, of course, we ended up getting Hysteric Sign. And Hysteric Sign does wonders for this deck. First, if this card was legal, in some weird cases, it's still not in the TCG, but it's legal in OCG, you can play Harpie's Feather Duster. Or have the chance to play Harpie's Feather Duster because you can search it from your deck to your hand with the effects of Hysteric Sign. Hysteric Sign has 2 effects, but you can only use one of the effects per turn in Harpies, and use Hysteric Sign a turn. So, first, you have Elegant. First, you can search for Elegant Aegis, which made it so much easier to do power plays because you can add the ego from your deck or your graveyard to your hand, which allows you to give more power to Pet Dragon, allows you to yet again abuse both Hysteric Party and Harpie's Hunting Ground as their effects to pop stuff in or special summon a whole bunch of Harpies. The ladies from the graveyard. Then on top of that, if this card was sent from hand or field to graveyard, you can add any combination of Harpie cards that did not share the same name from your deck to your hand. So you can get Chandler, Queen, or any random Harpie card like Harpie Sunny Ground, Harpie Feather Duster. If you're in the OCG, of course, there were 2 more new Harpie cards, similar to Harpie Chandler, who came out with the ability to be treated as Harpie Lady, whether on the field or in the graveyard, and had their own unique effects. And I am talking about Harpie's Dancer and Harpie's Harpist. Harpie Harpist is pretty much a 17 attacker, but her effects are actually really good in the sense that when she's normal summon, she can return one winged beast monster you control and 1 face-up monster your opponent controls and send them back to hand. So she can pretty much help you with dealing with those threats. In addition, when she's sent to the graveyard during the end phase, in which she's still in the graveyard, you can add 1 winged beast monster with 15 or less attack that's level 4 from your deck to your hand. So it gave you plays to go get this monster right here, Harpie Dancer, or Harpie Chandler, or any Harpie Lady that has 15 or less attack in their base deck. Harpie Dancer, when she's on the field, once a turn you can select 1 wind monster in your field, return it to hand, and then give you additional monster of a wind monster for that turn, which made plays with Harpie's Hunting Ground completely live because you could just bounce back the Harpie Dancer. And then on top of that, if your opponent is holding so much back row, you can just start putting more Harpie monsters from your hand back to the board, like herself, and then pop more back row. And in one case in point, if you had already used your Hysteric Sign effect a previous turn, you can activate Dancer, bounce herself back, put another Heartbeat or herself back into play, use Hunting Ground's effect to pop it so you can search during the end phase. And that became a very big key play with Harpies. and allowing them to not only blow up their own back row, but allow them to search and have the versatile play. Now, a few more cards that we can talk about that just support Harpies themselves. We have to talk about Harpie's Pet Baby Dragon, Harpie's Pet Dragon, and Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon. Which pretty much these three monsters right here are Harpie's support of the dragon variety. Now, with Harpie Chandler, of course, she has the ability to help you get any of these three monsters out. If you like to do the Master Exceed summons, of course, any combination of Exceed, you can go into Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon. Harpie's Pet Baby Dragon accumulates attacks for every Harpie card on the field. In case that does include Harpie Girl, because she has Harpie in her name. And does not include Sky Scout, because it's not a Harpie monster. And Bird Face, because that's just not a Harpie at all. So, pretty much, with these three cards, I've already done a video on them, but each of these cards have their own respective abilities, their own respective faces, and mini decks. The most commonly used cards, for the most part, are Harpie's Pet Dragon, because of the rank 7 plays for Harpie Chandler, and Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon, because it's technically Harpie's boss monster. Harpie's Pet Dragon, Baby Dragon, for what little bit use it has, somewhat sees some little bit of suggestive play, because if you can put enough Harpies on the board, you can pop stuff, it can have an attack and defense double, and then it forces your opponent to attack it instead of your other Harpie cards. In some cases, I've actually played Harpie's Pet Baby Dragon, played a Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon, and had pretty much both of them on the board with enough support to where you can attack anything. Harpie's Pet Baby Dragon can blow at stuff, and because of Phantasmal, it can be effect veilered. So, the dragons, for what they're worth, they have their own unique stance into the game, and have their own unique stance to support Harpie Lady. Then, of course, our most recent card, Harpie's Featherstorm, really held Harpies because, first off, if you control the wind wingy beast, you can activate this card and negate the effects of all your opponent's monster effects to the end of the turn. So that really helped monsters like Harpie Chandler, who had an issue with Maxi, Effect Veiler, stuff like that. Then on top of that, if this card itself was destroyed while in the Stellar Trap Zone by your opponent's card effect, you can add Harpie's Feather Duster from your deck or hand. Unfortunately, the TCG does not have that option to utilize that last effect. But we have the ability to utilize the first and its second effect. The second effect is if you control the Harpie monster, you can activate this card from your hand. And that helps tremendously because you can protect, like I said, protecting your Harpie monsters from other monster effects was a big issue. The only main issue is trying to protect your Harpies from card effect, from spell and trap effects, which for some little bit of support we did get from from Phantasmal Dragon, which isn't too bad, but it doesn't help when he gets Dark Hole or Regeki or Mirror Forest. So that is pretty much all in all what I had to go over with Harpies. I don't rank most of the monsters, but I pretty much wanted to go over each of the Harpie ladies themselves and give to you guys, the lineup of the Harpie stuff and just explain each of them. Because I know some players don't know exactly what Harpie cards do and know the history of their Harpie stuff. And that's pretty much what I wanted to do with this video. Of course, I do play Harpies, so I did have a lot of access to a lot of things, and just really wanted to go over Harpie Lady and Harpie Lady cards themselves. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I know there's been a lot of videos I've been posting lately, but I just wanted to get them out there. So until next time, you guys, it's HPJ signing out. Take care.